Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. Appreciate y'all being here. We're doing head shave tonight. As I said in my last video, unboxing the Andalou coconut lime. I tried just a little bit of this on my finger. I didn't get any scent. We'll see what happens when I put it on the dome. And we'll also be using the Harry's razor for the oops. I just pulled the damn head right off. One, two, three, fourth time. See how long this head will go before it needs to be replaced. How about that? Some aqua on the dome, Pears soap or pre-shave, dip that in the water. Again, cup this, don't squeeze it because it will shoot out. It's so slick. It will shoot out from your hand and you'll end up chasing it across the floor. And then picking it up is a bitch too. Found that out. And then you got to clean the floor because you got a flipping snail trail of soap all the way to the door. Okay. I don't know how well this stuff's going to lather. If it will lather or if it's going to be like a gel. I suspect it's listed as a shave cream, not a shave gel. So I'm expecting some kind of lather out of it. So let's see what we get. Look, I'm an ice cream cone. My Maseto 30 millimeter. Which is still really wet. I only shook it like 3 times and it's been soaking for a while. So we're gonna... Alright. Between the time I read all this and now, I've forgotten, and I didn't bring my other phone in for notes, so you'll have to bear with me. Today is on this date, and actually the date was never listed. Today is one of the days that Mozart finished one of his operas, and this is what got me started on it. It was just that was the headline for the day. I mean, it was one of several, but kind of caught my eye that Mozart finished one of his operas on this day. And as we all know, he was a musical genius from the time he was a child. When he was 4 years old, he could play. This thing's gonna drive me freaking batshit crazy one of these days. I'm gonna lose it. When he was 4 years old, he could play violin as well as some of the best masters in the world at the time. And he also played piano. And when he was young, like 8 years old or so, he would tour Europe with his older sister who played piano, and he would play violin, and they'd do concerts. And they played for royalty too. But as you know, he also wrote some of his music when he was a child. Between the age of 4 and 19, he wrote half of the 600, a little over 600 musical compositions that he wrote of all kinds. He wrote over half of them between 4 and 19 years old. When he was around 11, there was one piece, musical piece. This is how much of a genius this kid was, this guy. All right. There was one piece at the Vatican in the 1630s. A priest wrote a song for the choir that was only ever performed by the church on certain holidays and events and everything. It was the only time. And to copy it was to be excommunicated from the church. It was such a guarded secret. To copy it was to be excommunicated. So Mozart and his father happened to attend one of the performances where this song was performed. When they went home to their lodging where they were staying when they were at the Vatican to see the performance and everything, when they went back to their lodgings, he wrote out from memory all five how did they word it? It's like a 5-person course for this song, intermixed and everything. He wrote all 5 rolls of the song from memory, absolutely perfectly. All 5 of them. Then later on, a couple years later, he met with Harry's Razor. He met with an Englishman. God, I told you, I forgot everything. He met with this Englishman who was a publisher in England, in London, and he gave him the notes, and he published the song for the whole world to see, that the Vatican had been guarding as like life or death thing. You don't ever put this out in public. And Mozart got called before the Pope because of this, and everybody was expecting him to be excommunicated from the church. Severely admonished. The Pope was absolutely impressed with him and commended him for being able to do that, and commissioned him to write another one for the church. And he's like 11 years old. The guy was an absolute flippin', when it came to music, he was a prodigy. He was a genius and a half when it came to music. He died tragically when he was 35 from what they called military fever. What we don't know exactly what he died of today, because it's all too sketchy. Too many things were explanations have been given for what he really died of based on his symptoms, but they don't know what he died of. But he did die at 35, and he died broke, because he lived, if you remember the movie Amadeus, which was based on Mozart, the play and the movie, which came later, were based on the life of Mozart. He lived a very extravagant lifestyle. This stuff's kind of slick. And he married a woman who couldn't manage money either. She wanted to live an extravagant lifestyle too. Hey, hubby was doing, I'm going to do it. And they lived beyond their means. And he died penniless, broke. He was buried in what they call a pauper's grave back then, in Vienna, at the church. He lived in Austria. He was Austrian. He lived in Vienna. He was buried in a pauper's grave, which some attribute to being like a mass grave that they just threw all the poor dead people into and buried. It wasn't. It was an individual grave for one person that they had for 4 townsfolk, and they've had just a wooden cross with his name on it for a tombstone. And it has since, rotted and degraded and nothing, so nobody knows where his grave is now. But he was a flippin' musical genius, a prodigy of the nth degree. 11 years old, you go and you hear a song for the first time once and go home and write it all out, 5 pieces of it from memory, and write it all out. And at 4 years old, able to play the violin as well as any of the masters in the world could play it. That's incredible. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's impressive. But when I saw that, like I said, I just do what happened on this date in history type search. And that's what I came up with, was Mozart finished this opera on this date. So, okay. And then I started reading more about him, and went into his life a little bit. So I said, okay, we'll use that for a jumping off point. 35 years old and died mysteriously. Well, not mysteriously. They called it military fever back then. But for us, it's a mystery how he died, what he died of. He probably died from lack of blood, really, because back then they still did bloodlettings when you were sick. Get the bad blood out of you. "35 years old. Could you imagine the music we'd have today if he'd lived to 60s, 70s? Could you imagine? No, I mean, this stuff has absolutely no scent. I know they call it coconut lime, but I mean, I just stuck the bristles up my nose with soap on. I'm not getting anything. Which is fine. That means I can use any aftershave I want with it and not ruin it. It's slick though. I'll give it. It's not that be bald stuff slick, but it's slick. Slick enough. Against the grain. Something else I'm going to start with this video. In the description box. I know I put a lot of shit in the description box. I like to write. I'm sorry. I've always liked to write. I probably should have been a flipping author. But I do like to write. But I'm going to start putting the links to 3 or 4 shaving channels that I follow. I'm going to start with the ones that are under 1,000 subscribers and work my way up. I'm not going to just do it numerically. This one's got the least, this one's got no. I'm just going to do, if you're under 1,000, you'll be in the first batches. When I run out of those, I'll go to the ones that are a little over 1,000, then I'll start getting into the bigger ones. So, you know, like Ken Shaves and Paul H. Films and guys like that. They'll be in the back half of the ones. But I'm going to start posting links to the channels I watch. And what I would like to do, and I'd like to start a movement here. If you guys have a channel, I'd like you to join me in this movement. Because I'm sure there's channels you guys watch that I don't know about. Start posting links to channels that you watch in your description box. Take you 30 seconds when you're editing your video to do it. Seriously. You open another page, you go into YouTube, you look at your subscriptions, and then you go to that page, copy the link, bring it back to the video you're editing, post it in the description box. That easy. Alright. Let's start promoting these channels out here. I'd like to ask all of you guys to follow them. I'm not saying you have to watch their videos. You can follow somebody and turn off the notifications, but let's get their numbers up. Let's bring everybody up. Let's grow this community. Okay? Let's bring everybody up. And like I said, I'm asking you guys that have channels to join me in this. Post some links. You don't have to post them all at once. You could do a few each video. Post some links. Please subscribe to them. Like I said, you can turn off notifications if you want. You don't have to watch them all. And let's just grow the community. Let's get everybody up. Let's bring everybody's numbers up. There's some guys out there got good channels and they're under 100 followers. Let's bring them up. Let's bring everybody up. Let's grow the community. Let's get everybody active and growing. I mean, when you do a search on YouTube for shaving channel, you get Ken Surs pop up, you get Mark Sorority or whatever his name is, the cartoon boy, and you get Geo Fat Boy, and you get Ken, you get like Ken Surs, you get Paul H. Films, you get Kevy, you get a lot of the bigger channels that pop up, but you don't see too many of the smaller ones. Let's bring them up, okay, guys? Let's work something here. Let's promote ourselves. Let's get everybody going on it. Like I said, you don't have to have the notifications turned on. You don't have to watch all their videos. Just subscribe. Turn off the notifications if you want. Let's just get their numbers up. What do you say? There's a couple of guys that have been doing this for years. I mean, like 3-4 years, and they're like less than 700 subscribers. It's like, how's that? How are you doing that? I've watched their videos. Their content's not that bad. Hell, some of it's better than mine because, you know, let's face it, I'm a fucking idiot. Excuse my French. You know, and I don't know. I seriously don't know how you guys are following me. I expected maybe 5 to 10 people would ever follow me. I'm pushing 300 now, and I appreciate every one of you. I really do, because like I said, I'm a flipping idiot. Like I've told you guys before, what happens up here and what comes out here can be two totally different things. There is a disconnect somewhere in between those two. There was yesterday's video where I said like something like oil when they were using biofuel from restaurants, the used fryer oil. And if you drive behind a truck, it smells like French. And I said, they're getting it from the hospital. It's like, where the hell did that come from? It's just, that's not, it wasn't even in the conversation. And I said hospital. I'm like, what are you, dumbass? It's like, that's me though. I told you guys that. I've got a severe disconnect between my brain and my mouth. Sometimes I need that disconnect and it's not there. And I say shit that should not be said. I do that quite often. Gets me into trouble a lot. Matthew Lawrence. I didn't type it in today. I didn't leave it in the message box, and I was going to, and I forgot. I'm going to say it now. You live dangerously, my friend. He did a blade comparison shave, and during that shave, he yelled out the bathroom to his wife, "Hey, don't tighten these razors so tight." It's like, you are living dangerously yelling at the wife, my friend. How many nights on the couch did you get for that? I was like, ooh, he did that, and I was like, ooh. I expected that door to come flying open and something to come whizzing through the air like a skillet and hit him in the head. I was like, ooh, brother, you living dangerous. Okay, let's rinse it. Absolutely no scent. 0 scent. No coconut, no lime, no chemical scent, nothing. It was just there. It was on my head. It foamed up a little bit. It wasn't great, but it did some. No scent at all. But that's fine. Like I said, I got my drops. I can add scent to it, or I can just use it plain, and then I can use whatever aftershave I want afterwards. Which is fine. And I'm glad I chose the aftershave I did for today, because it is. I'm going to go out and watch. I'm going to post this video, and while it's uploading, I'm going to go out on my porch and watch Canadian Mafia show. So I need something a little lighter and a little fresher for that when I go outside. All right, that was a cartridge razor. It was a Harry's. It's never cut me, and it didn't this time. I'm not even going to use this. I'm saving that. I'm going to use this because it helps get rid of wrinkles. And I'm old. And I don't want wrinkles. I'm using 4711. I love this stuff. This is a great scent. Like I said, this is the, it's not, alright, I'm not going to say it's the original formula. This is the original scent. I'm sure they've changed the formulation over the years, because I'm sure there's stuff that they get today that's cheaper than what some of the original ingredients were. But that's a great scent. You guys, if you don't have 4711, that's a nice. That's a little much, but we'll go with it. I'll pick up what's left in my hand from the 4711, put it on there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that feels wonderful. All right. Okay, guys. And I got the open bottle of 4711 sitting in front of the fan, so it just blew that scent all over the room, which isn't bad. All right, I wish I could do my face shaves this quick, but I can't for some reason. I guess I yak too much. But Beethoven, or excuse me, not Beethoven. Beethoven's my favorite. Anyways, Mozart, freaking genius. Genius as a child and as an adult. Over 600 compositions by the age 35. From the time he was 4 to 35, he wrote a little over 600 compositions of all kinds. There's some for the church, private stuff, plays, operas, just musical pieces. Over 600 he wrote. And he wrote half of them from the age of 4 to 19. We'll never see another one like him. Never. Flippin' musical genius. Alright guys, I appreciate you being here. Look for my links. I'm going to put 3 or 4, depends, in my description box. I'm going to start cutting down on what I write. The head shaves I usually do cut down on what I write, but I'm going to put 3 or 4 links. Go ahead, follow those guys. Let's get their numbers up. Let's bring this community up. Let's raise everybody up. Let's get them all in it. Let's tell YouTube to go read between the lines, okay? Let's get everybody's numbers up so that when they post something, it gets out there and people can see it. All right, guys, I appreciate you being here. Love you all from here. All right. Anyways, appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot. Don't forget the affiliate link. It hits $25. I buy a gift card, give it away to you guys. All right. That's enough of me because I got to get out there, put this up, and go watch the Canadian Mafia show tonight. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Enough of the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.